putting again no commentator's curse on two players out there. That, you know, likely they're both going to finish, but you never know what happens. But for the out players, Edward and Matthew, I think it's a slightly different mindset. There's no surprises there from Edward. He misses the lift and watches his partner, his opposition, peel out, and so he's in the same zone as he's going to be in the whole match. Hit my shots and not make errors. Well, with Matthew, who's been just about the most watched and talked about player of the event so far, because he's been on fire. He's hitting a lot of roquets and peeling out most times himself. So he's certainly got his game running really well. But he's got a different kettle of fish against Robert here than his other opposition. And the tricky thing for Matthew is, he's easily a top 10 player in the world, but it'll be the noticeable difference when you're playing a top 1 or 2 player in the world with Robert, and making the breaks in the leaves. It's a difficult change-up. Is what possibly do I have to do sometimes extra in my game, and he doesn't want to change things up because that's what's been giving him the success all week, and it could still give him the success all week. But even possibly hoop bounding that ball at hoop 4 might have brought him another shot, and small things like that. And he's still capable of doing a triple himself from the ball inside the jaws of 4, and just little bits. But you do that mid-match without going through that thought process before you step on the lawn. Can get you into trouble. So
that's right.
I think Matthew will still rely on everything that he's got in his armoury, but.
So we'll watch Reg doing his rover peel before 3 back here, and if he is successful at that, then it's just a regulation break finish for him, and we'll focus on what Robbie's doing now. It's actually quite interesting in Robbie's position because he's put the peelie up at penultimate, but the ball that's normally left as the escape ball / 4-back pioneer is now found itself in a very easterly position. So once Reg has finished his peel attempt, we'll flick back over to see that.
I missed all of that.
So I'll tell you how that came about.
Come short on the croquet shot, and he had to hit the rug over a little bit.
He was taking the croquet shot for yellow, quite near Rover.
Right. Oh, so that. Yeah. So what happened?
The rush that he got on yellow down the park, I think might have even clipped Rover. I'm not sure, but hopefully Reg will do his peel soon, so we can get back over to see what Robbie's up to, because it's certainly not turned into any jawses. Okay, so if we could pop back over to lawn 3, we can work you through what we see here, which is that Robert is taking off to the peelie as we're at penultimate here. Now, what you can't see is that the yellow ball is in quite an easterly position, quite southeast of 4-back. So it'll be interesting to see what Robert does here. What would you do here, Pete?
He's doing the same thing. He's peeling black.
He's peeling black, going
reasonably
to yellow
softly, and going to the yellow ball.
So if we could pan out a little bit, that would be nice.
It just needs a little bit, more care than
so that we can see the yellow ball.
The shot he would have been expecting.
That's great. Thank you very much, Kathleen.
So the only thing I could think of is when he rushed out of 2 back, he wasn't in a position just to tap on the yellow to improve it. He obviously had to hit it.
So there we go. You
strength.
can see where the yellow is there. It's in quite a southeasterly position. And Robert leaves the black ball on the wire, but beautifully prioritises the rush on the yellow. So, and oh yes, thank you very much to Blake for the shot there of the black on the wire. You can see that very clearly. We had a little debrief this morning about what the audience would like to see, and that nice little blend of overview shot and balls on wires, and particularly when there's a hampered shot, just getting those sort of little moments captured nicely is great. So it will be interesting to see how Robbie cleans up the black ball, so we might stay with him for a bit. Remember, Reg has got his Peely jawsed at 3 at Rover. Reg is currently making 4 back with a very neat Pioneer at penultimate. So Robbie can now be penultimate on the scoreboard. And remember, Robbie has a ball against the wire of penultimate at the moment. Probably won't be too worried about that because he'll find that quite easy to chip off.
He's got red to work with to get him tight to put into straight peeling position.
And as Robbie plays this croquet shot, putting the blue towards the red, we'll see. Oh, that's a very nice angle from Blake there, showing the.
Oh, yeah, it looks tight on the leg.
It is tight.
Yeah,
it's tight. It's definitely tight.
He's just going to get this red up in a position where he can still put the red in a good reception after the blue ball comes through the hoop, but he needs to be able to just clip this black into straight peeling position.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see where this red ends up.
A little sideway ball was all good. Because he's placed yellow out there, so red will go all the way down to Rover, and this ball will pop through. And you'll be able to rush red in a position where he can also put that as a sideway or a deep ball at Rover, while controlling the rush on the yellow down to the Rover peel.
So looking for the absolute exact spot that will pop that black ball in front of the hoop.
And it looks like, you can always clip black back a little bit to give you that, guarantee of the peel, but then that you lose a little bit of the what happens when the peel goes through down to Rover. So Robert would like to keep it as
close as possible.
And he's left a little bit of distance on the shot required now. So
he's shaking his head. Look at that. About 3 shakes of the head.
So he may be looking at roking on the fatter part of the ball now and pushing it back a bit just to guarantee the peel. You don't want to touch this and watch it go to the other leg of the hoop and give you nothing. So just to leave that a little bit short. But these lawns, you're going to have to be required to do, little bits and pieces all day to complete your peels. There's slippery little bits all over.
Nice view of this here.
Oh,
and that looks perfect, doesn't it? We'll see from Kathleen's angle whether that's right down the.
Yeah, it looks right.
Yeah, that looks good. So we'll be expecting the black ball to go all the way down to Rover.
Yep.
And the blue ball to pop out in roqueable distance just from the red.
Clipping the leg, you can control the weight of the shot down to Rover quite well, depending how much wire he gets. But we're looking to take the peg out of play as well, so it's Needs a delicate line-up.
It looks as if Reg will win the battle of the finishing because
Yes, and
Reg has got the ball almost in the... Well, he's got the ball in the jaws of Rover.
You could have got good money on that.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. So Reg has got the ball in the jaws of Rover, and he's just about to just nestle up to it to play his final peel through Rover. So I think he will, unless something spectacularly strange happens, Robbie and Reg will be finishing similar times, but Reg a couple of minutes early. Now, I shouldn't put the commentator's curse on Robbie here, but that is...
Matthew has made 9 hoops in this game.
He has made 9 hoops. Yes, that's right.
At a rapid pace.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, yeah, that's right. There's 9 more hoops being made in the Matthew Robert game than in the Reg Ed game.
And again, good camera work. We're seeing all the work Robert does to, to do what looks a very simple peel, but it's got lots of little nuances in it, and it's well played.
And look at the position of the black. The black is
that's a 10 out of 10 shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just level with the hoop,
9.5. Maybe if the ball hadn't 6 inches longer.
Yeah, we had good conversation with. Well, I come from the old school of doing triples where you'd anything up with the hoop or past the hoop, it diminished your chances of finishing the thing, but. And you'd always hang it back a little bit. But Robert likes that ball right up at the hoop.
Oh, he does.
Much rather be rushing it
right
in from even slightly behind or level with the hoop than forward rushing it and having to hold the weight to the thing. So a ball 2 yards short of Rover is
okay.
He'd much prefer where black is. Yeah. And it makes sense. So it's one of the change ups I've tried to put into my game. What Robert tells you to do, you do without question.
So Rover for might reach the Reg, as expected, has completed his Rover peel and is just engineering to get the rush back to the peg. Well, if you were doing one of those things where you could put money on during the game, and you'd think, well, Robert's a long way behind in finishing here, but given the amount of time Reg is taking to engineer things, no, he's actually got a complete dolly rush to the peg now. So,
well,
so Robert.
Oh, it might come down to if a referee is called to pick out of the speed of the referee.
The speed of the referee, that could be a
might
factor.
be brought into the
And
factor.
if you'd put money on, then you could bribe the referee to just take a very, very long time to get out there. That would work.
And here is the referee coming out. Oh, he's moving sprightly.
Well, he's obviously
paid to that.
Yeah. So
sorry, we shouldn't be having a go at the referees. They've done a wonderful job.
No, they are fantastic, amazing. Big shout out to the referees for and any insinuation that they've been influenced by my high stakes betting. Robert, perhaps not perfectly plumb in front for this one.
Oh, that's 2 players lying down. Very similar positions, isn't it? Reg and
They
Robert.
both look dead.
Robert's head came up.
If you were an alien, then you'd imagine that we were watching some sort of ritual where people had to lie, like those fainting goats.
The fainting goats, yes. Well done, Reg. Takes the first game, 26-0 TP.
Yeah. So Reg is completed on that one. And Robert now to make this peel. And the blue ball is nicely jawsed, and I think Matthew would think he's in a little bit of trouble here now for this game. Robert now just engineering the right spot for his rush back up to the peg, and all 4 players will be going back to the pavilion for a little break, a little bit of a debrief with their mentors.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
Not allowed to do that in the middle of a match? No, not in the middle of a match.
Yeah.
I mean, in the middle of a game.
I thought you were going to say a bit of a debrief of themselves.
Yes. No, I don't know. It's but surely people must say things like. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure people will be saying,
okay,
well done, keep it up, going well, and that type of thing.
Yeah. No. Okay, stand corrected on that one.
It could be a thing that does happen, but I usually stay away from.
Yeah. Well, you're trying to stay focused anyway, aren't you? I mean, you're. But yes, no. It's a little bit showing my inexperience there.
It could be me, Gareth.
I don't normally find myself in a best of
might
5.
not actually be a rule. I don't keep up with all the rules of croquet. I just probably used to think it was probably not the done thing to seek advice between games.
I would imagine it isn't, but. And that's the first game to
well done, Robert.
So that's good. So we will be back with some action after the players have come back out. But
and
for the
special
time
guest
being,
comes up, and then I'll disappear.
But for the time being, we can have a cup of tea, and we'll be back with you with some commentary.
Oh, it's been good fun, Gareth, and some classy stuff to start the match.
Yeah, no, it's
matches
all
off.
They make it look easy, and it isn't easy.
Oh no, that's a slippery looking lawn out there. Lawn 3 and lawn 4 is a slightly flatter lawn, but it's and a little bit greener, but it's still got its trickiness.
If you're an aspiring player and you see that, you think, well, I could do that, but in actual fact, it's a very different matter when you've got the mallet in your hand and you're dealing with a lawn that's quickening up and that's been mown to the width of a 10-cent piece. But these guys make it look as if they're playing in very easy conditions, and it's a display of skill which belittles the technicalities that are involved.
A good thing while they are having a break, and we mentioned the work the referees have been doing all week, and there's been plenty of them, and they've been promptly out on the court and all making good decisions, is regularly setting hoops between every game.
Look,
no matter what part of the contest you're in, be it the consolation plates and the block play, every time a game finished, the referee would also have the task of resetting the hoops and making them firm. So it's been a lot of work.
It has, and it's and
that's been well appreciated by the players. To get the hoops right every game.
And I can't remember the last time I saw somebody ask for the hoop width to be checked.
No, I haven't seen a jammed ball. So that's also a credit to the
and
hoop
also in comparison to what happens with golf croquet, where a chap with a mallet has to come, hammer has to come out every 5 seconds to every shot to thump the hoop in a bit harder.
The ones the referee has come out to put the hoop in is when players have had a hampered shot and they need to slide their mallet along the ground to play the hampered shot, and they want the carrots put in a little bit.
Anyway, we'll temporarily
we'll
sign
disappear.
off. Yeah.
Thank you. Similar position to where Robert
So welcome back.
played it.
Welcome back. So we slightly got caught off guard there. We the Matthew Robert game started a couple of minutes before we ran back into the commentary box, and we were all caught napping. But what's happened is that Matthew put in a super shot, pretty much the same position that Robert did.
Yep.
And Robert responded in the same way, and
Yeah.
Matthew responded in the same way by hitting
Hitting.
the maximum distance ball. So Matthew now has a chance to emulate what Robert did and load hoop 2 and get on the red.
And that's
It's pretty
not
good.
a bad shot.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. So it's a little bit north-south, but
like,
it's
like Robert will have like a bit of a tricky first roll into the hoop one, but all in Matthew's capabilities. Well, we've got some extra commentators teed up for you, but
So
both are missing.
no, but that's
MIA.
good. That's
so
not a problem. We've
you
got.
might be by yourself for a while
so
in this game, Gareth.
We did have a lot of comments actually, Pete. We didn't think we were getting any comments because we couldn't see them before, but that's just because I didn't have my messages pane activated. But one of the comments we did get was that no one knew who it was that was commentating. So we'll get them to flick that up occasionally, so that we can make sure that you know who we are.
That might have been deliberate, was it? But
That's right. But Matthew smoothly, and look at the pace of this. We better keep our act together here, Pete, because the way that Matthew likes to play is fast and with a great cadence and a great rhythm. The Reg and Ed have returned from their break, and they're looking to get going in their game. But Matthew playing a nice load up to hoop 3, and he's secured himself a nice rush on the Pioneer ball at hoop 2. So very, very high quality stuff here from these two players. You can see there a nice bit of camera work from Blake, just making sure that we can see that little clip that Matthew has to do to get the black ball off the hoop, so they can engineer his next shot. But the red very nicely placed at hoop 3 for him to now load hoop 4 and go to that. So it's a little wobble off the peg there, I think, and that just holds it up a fraction. So the black ball would be a little bit shorter than he planned, but the rush obviously to the red ball is very nice. Hits that through nicely, so that'll be taking Croquet from a very advantageous position right by hoop 5, and that makes it very easy for him to get the desired rush on the black ball at hoop 4. Now if we might just pop over to lawn 4, because Ed has just put in a super shot and Reg is going to maximum distance, so the interest there will be to see how Ed responds to this. So remember, Ed has put in his black ball as the first super shot. Where would you put that, Pete? If you were describing where that black ball has gone for Ed, it's certainly northwest of hoop 5 and maybe about 3 yards to the west and 1 yard to the north.
Yeah, no, I like the spot Edward has put that. Red has elected to go just about mid-court, isn't he, as well?
Yeah.
Rather than exact optimum, but just a slight yard difference on a few players. But Edward heads off to B-ball, and as you see, Edward plays this with a slight angle on it,
yes.
so he's
so
sometimes
Yep.
not missing all the way to the corner. It might be, 9 yards apart at the
So
end
this
of the shot.
is good. Kathleen will get us a good shot down the line here, I think. So.
And meanwhile, on lawn 3, Matthew looks like he's under control.
So big shot here for Ed. Yet to take Croquet in this game.
And he's got that great shot.
Beautiful shot, and he's knocked it into the lawn, and that's that he'll be very, very, very happy with that. He's finally got some action.
And good mental skills sitting there on the sideline. To be able to come out there and nail that first required shot. Yeah, we did miss all those comments, Gareth, and there's nothing that we could have answered, but it's been good discussion. They talk. A lot of players have been talking about the new balls and the different playing characteristics, what they do with old balls, and yeah, there is some inconsistencies in them, and they do mention that the back ball travels further, and it's which I don't mind myself. I think it gives more range of more shots to be played, you know, and it's and players with a little bit less strength can play some slightly bigger or rolls with more consequence. But it's the pull that is the slightly inconsistent thing on some croquet shots. And Paddy does mention a little bit there. There's some discussion about when it's reasonably easy conditions and both players are playing well, and both players are shooting. Is it going to come down just to a shooting contest? Well, I made mention in game 1 that Matthew may be required at some stages of the match to do a little bit extra, and I think it's going to come down to tactics and when you change up and what sort of leaves you do or what sort of turn you do if your opponent's round to 4 back, and it's difficult to ramp that up if it's not your regular part of your play, especially if it's not been what you've been doing on these lawns all week. But
so Ed's given himself a very, very makeable shot. He'd certainly expect to make it, but it would have me quaking a little. Maybe 5 foot out, slight angle. No problem for Ed.
Up to the north boundary.
And right up to the north boundary.
And has a tap on of 8 yards.
A tap on of 8 yards for Ed there. Yes, very good.
He's got a rush to be able to load a hoop 3 and control the rush to hoop 2.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, I'm sure he sees that as a dolly rush, but Matthew, of course, on lawn 3 still progressing.
It's been a great break for Matthew.
His pioneer for 2-back is not ideal.
No, but it's better than...
It's only about halfway up the lawn.
Free ball breaks, you don't want to be playing big shots all over the place, so this one's, attainable shot to be able to rush us into 2-back.
So Ed makes the roquet with great aplomb, but doesn't give himself the load to hoop 3, getting on the black that he would like, but I don't think he's particularly concerned. Oh no, sorry, he does. I was looking at the balls the other way around. I do apologise.
And it's a nice shot from Matthew.
It is a beautiful shot from Matthew. He loads 3 back.
Which lawn was the camera?
The camera's on Ed.
Yeah, good.
We need to see a bit of Ed, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And we need to see what this croquet shot comes out like.
And Matthew is certainly looking very good. If the
watch
ideal
Ed
thing. If,
navigate
yeah.
this hoop, and then
If Ed,
watching Matthew make the leave. Will
absolutely. If we can get to it.
And Edward's got a bit of work.
He's got a perfect position on the hoop 3 ball, but that's not the ball he was really worried about.
This is the power Edward has. Sometimes that can be a benefit. He usually will go for a very fine cut.
Yeah, look at that cut.
And he's controlled it.
It's a great cut, but it's still 10 yards away.
No, but it's the straightness as well, Gareth, that he's concentrated on. But like Robert did in the other game.
Yeah.
You want to be rolling this in straight and removing that angle of the hoop shot.
Yeah. Some keen photographers up there. I can see Sharif with his fixed camera, and it's a great position for them now. Come on, Ed, up.
Just controlling that back ball. A little bit short.
It's a bit
short. Yeah, and even the black ball's short, so the whole shot's come out a little bit tentative, isn't it?
That is certainly a lot further away than you'd want. So good camera angle for us here. And that's the result. So Reg now has
annoyed with that, Edward.
Very a short shot to tap back on. So Reg will be coming on with his red ball, and we'll have a 6-yarder at yellow if he wants it. Slightly longer shot at black if he wants it, but presumably the yellow one.
First time for Edward with the balls, and the first croquet shot, he owed the first major croquet shot loading hoop 3. He overhit a little bit, so he might have the pace might have been slightly quicker than he was expecting, and he held off.
And then he held off on the roll,
just
didn't
a
he?
little bit.
That's right. Probably should say that Matthew is just putting his ducks in a row. So we might just stay with Reg on lawn 4 as we are, although it's pretty likely he's going to hit, isn't it? So maybe it would be better to go over and see Robert play the lift shot to Matthew's ducks. So if we could pop over to lawn 3, I think we can take it. It's going to be very likely that Reg will hit the red ball onto the yellow ball and get started with Ed's 2 balls at hoop 2. So here we are just watching Matthew, who's only a matter of a few yards away from Reg at the moment, but so we can update Matthew to being on 4 back in 1. And
I've got a comment here from Damon Bidencover, and it's a good shout out to the ball manufacturer Paul for doing the work he does, and I here agree. Well, there's differences in the new balls. They're still incredibly ball to play with, and of top quality, and for players, it's just adjusting to the slight differences in the ball more than wishing they were exactly the same as what we've been using for the last decade. It's all part of the game.
There's and
get used to a little bit of new equipment.
The glistening new sets that we've been provided with the deep milling, and they look splendid, don't they?
I mean, even with the older stock of brand new balls are always a little bit waxy and slippery and do a few things you're not expecting.
So Robbie is going to take exactly the same shot that Matthew took in the first game. He's going to be shooting from a balk up at the rightmost duck, in this case the yellow ball. Reg, as expected, hit in, so no surprises there. So here goes Robbie with his shot. And just like exactly the same as Matthew. just sliding just off to the left. Yep. So absolutely identical starts to these two guys.